Chapter 3, The Verger, Somerset Maugham. Answer the following question in 1 or 2 words. 1. Where was St. Peter's Church located? Ans. St. Peter's Church was located at Neville Square. 2. What was the name of the verger of St. Peter's Church? Ans. The name of the verger of the St. Peter's Church was Albert Edward Foreman. 3. Who was in the vestry besides the verger and the vicar? Ans. Besides the verger and the vicar, the 2 church wardens were in the vestry. 4. At what age did the verger begin working? Ans. At the age of 12. 5. What did the verger want to buy while walking in the street? Ans. While walking on the street, the verger wanted to buy a packet of gold flake cigarettes. B. Answer the following question in a few words. 1. What was the discovery that astonished the vicar? Ans. The discovery that astonished the vicar was that Albert Edward Foreman, who served the prestigious St. Peter's Church, could neither read nor write. 2. What occupation did the verger take up after resigning from the church? Ans. After resigning from the church, the verger took up the profession of the tobacconist and newsagent. 3. What impression did the verger have about the new vicar? Ans. The verger did not have a good impression about the new vicar, as he was fussy and wanted to have his finger in every pie. The verger could not appreciate the new vicar from the East End, but felt that he would sometimes fall in with the discreet ways of the fashionable congregation of St. Peter's Church. 4. How did the verger treat his grown? Ans. The verger treated his gowns with much care, pride, and dignity. He wore his gowns with complacence, as it was the dignified symbol of his office. He took pains with it, pressed it, and ironed it himself. He even preserved the old worn-out gowns, wrapped neatly up in brown paper, and kept them in the bottom drawers of the wardrobe in his bedroom. 5. What was the verger told by the vicar in the vestry? Ans. In the vestry, the vicar told the verger that he had something unpleasant to say to him. The vicar admitted that the verger had accomplished the duties of the office to the satisfaction of everybody concerned. But he was astonished to find the verger to be an illiterate person. In that case, the verger could not be allowed to continue his jobs in a prestigious church like St. Peter's. Hence, as the vicar said, the verger must learn to read and write within 3 months or leave his office. C. Answer the following question briefly in your own words. 1. What thoughts came to the verger's mind as he sat in the vestry with the vicar and the church wardens? How did the verger react to the vicar's announcement? Ans. As the verger sat in the vestry with the vicar and the church wardens, he wondered with slight uneasiness what could be the matter. He noted that the 2 church wardens were sitting at the handsome refectory table, and he recalled that the table had been bought by the earlier vicar from Italy. He realized that something was bothering the vicar and the 2 church wardens. The troubled look of the 2 church wardens led the verger to think that the vicar had been nagging them and might have jockeyed them into doing something they did not like. The vicar made the announcement that an illiterate verger like Albert Edward Foreman could not be allowed to continue his job in a prestigious church like St. Peter's. Hence, the verger must learn to read and write within 3 months or leave his office. At this, the verger was not at all embarrassed, rather he reacted with confidence. He bluntly expressed his inability to learn reading and writing at this age, as he was too old a dog to learn new tricks. Hence he happily offered his resignation, saying, "As soon as you've found somebody to take my place." 2. In your opinion, what kind of person was the verger? Ans. In my opinion, Albert Edward was a very confident man. He was quite sure of himself. Even when the vicar told him that he had to leave the job of verger if he did not learn to read and write within 3 months, he did not feel shattered. Rather, he told him that he would not be able to learn to read and write at this old age and that he happily offered his resignation, saying, as soon as they found somebody to take his place. The verger was also a man of great business acumen and common sense. He decided to open a cigarette shop in a street with a shop selling cigarettes, which made him a successful businessman. 3. The manager stared at him as though he were a prehistoric monster. Who is the he referred to in the question? Ans. The he referred to here is Albert Edward Foreman, who was once the verger of St. Peter's Church and now a successful businessman. Explain what made the manager stare at that person. Ans. Being sacked from the job of the verger, Albert Edward Foreman set up business as a tobacconist and newsagent, and in a course of 10 years he owned 10 shops. He began making money hand over fist. Every Monday he deposited the week's earnings in the bank. One day the manager of the bank advised Foreman to invest the money, which was a little over £30,000. He even assured that the bank would help Foreman to choose the securities, only he would have to sign the transfer. But when Foreman asked the manager as to how he would know what he was signing, the manager replied that of course, he could read the papers. Foreman disclosed that he was an illiterate man, neither he could write nor read. Hearing this, the manager was taken aback. He was shocked to know that a man who could amass a mass fortune of £30,000 was an illiterate man. That is why the manager stared at Foreman as though he were a prehistoric monster. D. Give suitable answers to the following. 1. Character sketch of the verger. Uns. William Somerset Maugham has portrayed the character of the verger. Albert Edward Foreman, though an illiterate person, served as the verger of St. Peter's, Neville Square, for 16 years. He began his life as a page boy at the age of 12 in the house of a merchant prince. He then rose from fourth to the first footman, and later he had been single-handed butler to a widowed peeress. And before being appointed at St. Peter, Foreman was a butler with 2 men under him in a retired ambassador's house. Albert Edward Foreman was a man of confidence and self-respecting nature. When the vicar discovered that the verger could neither read nor write and instructed him to learn reading and writing within 3 months and leave the job of the verger, he did not feel shattered. Rather, he told him that he would not be able to learn to read and write at this old age and that he happily offered his resignation. Albert Edward Foreman was a realistic and proud man with great business acumen and common sense.